Where do Skyrim's rivers come from? Because that's actually a really good question. I have no idea. Like, you always see them, and I remember when they updated the game that it would have, like, almost more realistic looking water physics. Not actually more realistic. But you still don't know where they actually come from.
I'm standing here knee-deep in digital water from the hit 2011 video game Skyrim.
Prime play Subway Midnight, or you like little boys.
Confused.
What's Subway Midnight?
Where did this river come from? I mean, it's flowing, right? So it's flowing from...
Thank you, Kuma, for the 10. I just wanted to say, I love you and I love the content you made recently. I can tell you put a lot of passion in. We ever played Time Splitters 2? I'd like to. I don't know how to play it, though. I guess I'd have to emulate it. What happened with the stream before this? I was reacting to Jubilee and it got taken down.
Somewhere, and it's flowing to somewhere. But where? And where are we getting...
Why has he got like 13 trillion hairpins? Okay, I'm not one to like judge hairstyles, right? I know I lost that ability, but still.
all this water from? Does it just shrink and expand at the whim of Todd Howard's mind? Or are there other water sources in the game that feed into these rivers like they do on Earth? If so, where do those water sources come from? In order to find the answer...
This is such a good question for a video, because I don't know the answer to it. It's you know that you know like on Reddit, the mildly interesting subreddit, where stuff is just very bland, but it's also like, ooh, wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, this guy got like 1 million views in a week. So yeah, people clearly, it's such an interesting question.
Answers to these questions, I've devised myself
from the mountain.
A simple challenge. Starting in Riverwood, I'm going to follow the river all the way to its endpoint, and if any other...
Heard that OpenAI is considering allowing porn on its platform. Wait. Is that real? Is that real? Mashallah. Okay, if that's real, we're saved. We're saved.
Rivers connect to it along the way. I'm going to follow those all the way back to their source points. Let's begin. So as you can see, standing on the bridge in Riverwood, the river is very clearly flowing this way, which I believe is north. So wherever we're headed is that way. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to follow this here river all the way to wherever it ends. And I'm sure it's going to take a while, but that's okay. Now, immediately, something interesting has happened. Look at this. This creek feeds into the river, and this waterfall feeds into the creek.
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's a 12-minute video. He might be milking it a bit. But I do wonder if, like, every single crevice, every single bit of water just starts from a little bit of a cave.
But what feeds the waterfall? Well, I'm going to find out. Maybe we could just...
And there are also indoor caves as well that you can go into that have waterfalls and stuff.
The old classic Skyrim.
Like a Bleak Falls Barrow.
Jump. Almost. Okay. So check this out. This is the start point. At first glance, this spontaneous water generation coming out of a nondescript side of a mountain seems unrealistic. It seems very video gamey. But it turns out this actually isn't that uncommon in the real world. Now, obviously, the visual fidelity of Earth is a lot higher than the visual fidelity of a game like Skyrim. But because of things like groundwater seepage, underwater channels can form, which can become underwater streams, which will then find the path of least resistance, and then that water will come out the side and create a...
Bro's doing like an Evian advert to teach us how water works.
Waterfall. And in fact, one of the most common causes of this type of seepage is glacial melting, snow melt. We know that Skyrim has lots of snow. We even know that this mountain, if you go up it, is covered in snow. So it actually kind of makes sense. That's pretty neat. It is fun that there's a little bit of thought put into the fact that the water, you know, obviously it turns into sort of white water when it goes over a waterfall, but also you can see the
foamy water. It's the tastiest water.
Tops of the water splitting when they
12-minute yap session. Nah, dude, he knows the game. He knows the game. He needs the watch time. I respect it. He ate good off this video. He made a couple grand. He made a couple grand.
Hit the rocks, which is fun. It's also that weird little whatever the f that is. Just like a little splurt. So we've come all the way.
I think this is the reason why YouTube like shorts are dominating though, right? Because obviously this guy just answered the question in the first 30 seconds of the video, but obviously it's a 13-minute video. But obviously, if it was a TikTok, he should actually turn this into a TikTok if he hasn't already, because that would get like 10 million views easy.
Down here, and now we have hit a split in the river. We have another pretty big river creek thing that is now also contributing. Okay, this is going to be more complicated than I thought. So I'm going to make a diagram. This line is going to represent the river that we're on. It's just going to be...
Thank you, name for the 5. I watched it, and it was a really good watch. Yeah. I just think it's a really interesting topic.
One straight...
Shorts are soulless. How are you going to say that after Baby Gronk? Baby Riz.
Baby Gronk just rizzed up Livy Dunn again. Baby Gronk went to Livy's gymnastic meet to try to win back Livy. When Livy saw Baby Gronk in the stands, she waved to him and made a heart with her hands. After the meet, Baby Gronk rizzed up Livy and they even hugged again. Is Baby Gronk officially the Riz King? Baby Gronk cheated on Livy Dunn. No! Baby Gronk, aka the new Riz King, is the #1 college football prospect in the country and was committed to LSU. But recently, he's been seen on recruiting visits all across the nation. He's even met with Nick Saban and Deion Sanders. Livy is not happy about this. She might even get back together with the Drip King. Do you think Livy will...
Man, if any video makes me feel like an old man, it's that. This is the lowest level of internet.
Stay with Baby Gronk or get back with the Drip King?
Are YouTube Shorts merchants, are they like grown in like a vat or something? Because he just didn't blink the entire video. He didn't blink.
What up, guys? It's Henry from Hoopify, and I'm back here today with another video, and I'm partnering with East Coast Dyes. So today, I'm going to be doing a day in the life of a Division I lacrosse player, Fall Ball Edition. And we are giving away a head and a sweatshirt. The new DNA.
I mean, he seems pretty normal. But then, like, monk hairline.
What happened to Baby Diggs?
I can't. Oh gosh, Jesus. I can't watch any of it, bro. I can't.
Straight line, like a metro line or some sort of train situation. You guys might be familiar with that if you're from Europe. This dot represents river.
They just got like baby hairline for no reason.
Riverwood, where we started, and then these little blue lines are going to represent small tributaries like streams and creeks. We'll also use big, thicker blue lines to represent other rivers that connect, and a variety of other symbols as we need them. I just want you to know that this diagram is what's making this video take so long. If you want to see more diagrams like this, support me on Patreon. Now, back to the journey. It's White Run's Sewage Creek.
I've never seen someone show their Patreon and say, oh, do you want diagrams? I got some diagrams here.
All this, or maybe just drainage. I shouldn't assume it's sewage. But it continues further back here. It gets a lot lighter, and it looks like the source of that whole thing is White Run's drainage sewage system. So that whole creek is man-made. It's a totally artificial feature of the land. That's interesting. In addition to all of this, if you actually go inside of White Run, which is a walled city, you can find the...
This is actually a lot harder than I thought it'd be. Because he has to basically break down like where every single stream is originating from. Because it's not all... Because Skyrim is an island, isn't it? Is it an island? Can you reach the borders of Skyrim? Like physical borders? Or is it all just... It's not on an island, is it? No, that's Morrowind, I think. Well, that's Cyrodiil. I forget.
The source of that water all the way up.
Skyrim isn't an island. It's not. It's part of the continent. Yeah, I know it's not. Yeah. What is which Elder Scrolls game took place on an island then?
At the top of the mountain where the castle is.
Morrowind. Was it Morrowind? That's what I was thinking. Yeah, because I played Morrowind recently.
The castle is surrounded by this big moat, which then flows down all of these water features into a variety of fountains and eventually out of these drainage tunnels. Now, all of that is to say that all the times you've played Skyrim and you've walked near this little creek and you've...
Remember that DLC you can get in Oblivion where you could join like the Knights of the Nine or like these knights where you got like this cool looking armor, but then if you committed a single crime in the game, you would have the armor taken away from you. So if you got in a fight with someone in a bar, they'd be like, nope, you cannot have the armor anymore.
You thought to yourself, wow, what a beautiful creek there. That it's all runoff. It's all like sewage probably from White Run that you're just admiring that then flows into that river. You'll notice as we continue walking, we're actually going down in elevation a lot. And
no, we don't. What's your childhood game? Fortnite?
That's not uncommon.
Horse Armor DLC was peak. I don't even think it was that bad, to be fair. I think it's just funny how much of a meme it became.
When it comes to rivers,
There were so many games back then that were doing way worse than that.
because it tends to be that things melt and gravity pulls them down. So it's probably the case that we're going to continue going lower and lower in elevation. But I'm curious, because this is a video game, if they ever sort of screwed that up. You know, if they ever accidentally made a river go uphill. But whatever.
Sent you a map of where the Elder Scrolls takes place in midstream chat. Let's have a look. Where's midstream chat? There it is. Oh, this is big. Hang on. Yeah, Morrowind. There we go. Yeah, Oblivion is in Cyrodiil. I think it's Cyrodiil. And then in Skyrim, you could go to one of the islands. Was it Dawnstar? No, Dawnstar was... There was an island you could go to, I'm pretty sure. No, you went back to Morrowind in Skyrim, I'm pretty sure. Or an island off Morrowind. Elder Scrolls Travel Stormhold. Yeah, Oblivion was actually enormous. Yo, shout out to my boys in Kvatch. Shout outs to the boys. I like how Kvatch, like, I remember having a mate at school that would just...
I just tuned back in. What video is this? I have played Skyrim since I was 11 and have 8k hours in it. This just triggered the dopamine receptors in my head.
Wait, was it black screened? There we go. What's the video? It's a guy trying to find out where, like, the water in Skyrim comes from, like the rivers and stuff. Which is, pretty interesting.
I don't know. I'm not a hydrologist. Holy crap. This is a large waterfall here. Oh dear. Look at that. That's pretty amazing. We have a really large river combining with it right here. My God. I don't even know if I want to know where that comes from. Just kidding. Yes, I do. Following this particular tributary back to its source was very difficult. Well, I mean, it wasn't very difficult. I was playing a video game, so you know, I'm not working on an oil rig. But I had to jump a lot, is basically what I'm saying. We had to climb up a mountain, past a bunch of very beautiful waterfalls and cliffs and things like that, and eventually it leads here to this unassuming, tiny little spot with another one of these waterfalls that just.
Dude, you know what sucks so much? I know I sound like such a doomer right now, but like I loved playing Skyrim. I loved it. I loved it so much. It was just such a good experience, right? Like, when did it come out again? Like 2012 or something? Like booting it up, playing through it. But now I feel like, because I'm 26. I'm 27 in like an hour, which is terrifying. But I feel like if I booted up Skyrim now, I would not enjoy it. I wouldn't enjoy it. And I'm not saying like, oh, the game's aged poorly. I just genuinely wouldn't enjoy it. And I feel like I've talked about this on stream before, but I have this problem where like I will play a Bethesda game, I'll install it, I'll install like 200 mods, and then I will launch the game and immediately think, no, I don't feel like it. And I've spent like my whole day installing and organizing mods to make sure it all works properly. And then as soon as I launch it, I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
Generates an infinite amount of water that then spills down and
turn on music, get immersed. Oh no, the Skyrim music that Jeremy Soule did is absolutely insane. Even Oblivion music kind of holds up, to be fair. I haven't listened to Morrowind music that much. Morrowind kind of throws me off because Oblivion was the first Bethesda game, I think, where when you spoke to people, they actually spoke to you. Because I haven't played Morrowind in a fat minute properly, but I do remember that when you spoke to people, they would have like in-world dialogue, but when you spoke to them, it would just be a huge text box. It wouldn't be voice acted.
Creates all of those.
But yeah, the Oblivion music is good.
Cascading effects. I'm honestly not totally sure what I find so interesting about all.
It's insane though that Bethesda made a game like Oblivion and Fallout and Skyrim, and then they made Starfield. Like how?
Of this, I was trying.
How did that happen?
I think
Pyro
of it.
is officially an old man. Send him to the senior home.
It's over for me, little
while
little
writing
bro.
the sort of loose outline of the script for this
Actual
video.
old
And obviously
rotting
there's a
bastard.
piece of it that it's, I just like looking at things in games that we weren't supposed to look at. But I do play games normally. I do enjoy games like a normal person enjoys them. Please believe me. But there's something about looking at a river and knowing that that river starts somewhere and ends somewhere that gives me this really interesting feeling. Maybe it's because I struggle with like visualizing other...
It's kind of funny. It is kind of funny though, if you frame it in the way that the cope is that bad that we have not had a good Bethesda game since Skyrim, that you've got some fucking guy nearly over 10 years later doing a video trying to find out where the rivers are coming from, because there's nothing. There's no games. There's no games. He would never be doing this in Starfield, believe me.
places that
in
aren't in front of
Bedfield.
my face. It's like I'm still working on object permanence.
Fallout New Vegas 2, that was never announced, was it? Fallout 4's good. It's all right. Fallout 76 is good. I say nothing on that one. I say nothing on that one.
In a way, emotionally. But if you also think it's interesting, tell me why. Maybe it will help me figure it out. But in the meantime, I have
Do the Skyrim devs even work for Bethesda? I don't even know, to be fair.
a river to follow.
All right, I didn't even realize until today that, like, Blizzard didn't even make Overwatch. They licensed it to this Chinese company called NetEase. And that's why that new Marvel's game that came out looks exactly the same as Overwatch, because it's just the same company that made both.
Come to another joining river. Got a big waterfall that feeds it coming down. So this has got to be coming from either multiple smaller rivers, or it's coming directly from like some kind of big lake or something like that. Ah, Christ. Okay. So it's actually coming from multiple bigger rivers.
Okay, that looked like something. That looked like something. I was a little bit worried, but it's not quite finished. It looks close to something. That's
Multiple
bad.
bigger rivers. Okay, all right, okay. I feel like this is going to be the shorter one to go look at, so let's go see. This hike was also extremely long and annoying, and the river also split up again. Now, one of these paths does go thousands of feet up into a tiny spot on the mountains where, once again, you find just another one of these little generating points, so that's always fun. But the other path is a much larger
Wait, you guys thought it was the N-word? No.
river, and if you follow that back, you actually end up in the town of Ivarstead, or Ivarstead, whatever it's called. So that was a fun surprise. Okay, well, here we are now in Ivarstead. This river is powering this wheel. It's cool to think that this river, this body of water... Ah, fuck. God damn it. I hate this game. I love this game, but I hate this game. Okay, what was I saying anyway?
Where's the next Elder Scrolls going to be set? It's High Rock, I think, right?
I think it's...
Or do we just not know?
It's really cool to think that this river, this body of water, is connected to the same body of water that is rotating the lumber mill in Riverwood.
They haven't confirmed Hammerfell.
That's pretty
It's set in Iraq. Birmingham.
cool to think that,
Don't
like,
play
at the end...
modded. Skyrim is beautifully broken, things work the way they're supposed to. When you mod and fix things or add things, it gives you a sense that the game can be better, which is true, but not how you remember it. To a vanilla playthrough smile.
Also very true. Also very true. I mean, vanilla Skyrim still works. They still got that bug where, like, if a giant slaps you, you get sent up into orbit. Have you ever play any of the Paradox map games? No. Thank you, Smokey, for the 5. I haven't heard of those.
the day these two locations are interlinked in that way. And also something interesting about this
Imagine if it was just Skyrim all over again, just on a better engine.
is, check this out right here. Right here in Ivarstead, the river splits. On the left side, the water calmly flows
No!
to the left.
It's broken!
And on the right side, it rapidly starts flowing to the right, and then it turns into this gigantic torrent. This exact thing, this exact moment is one of the reasons why I was so interested in making this video. The idea that if you really dig in, eventually you're gonna find the spot that the game gives up on trying to be the world that it's trying to be, and instead it has to admit to you that it's just a video game. This is the video game telling us that it's a video game.
It's
For all
over. Realism's dead. Todd Howard fired.
the effort that they put into having these
16 times the detail.
tributaries and these combining
Where was that even from again when he said that? Wasn't that on Fallout 76? Just makes no sense. It looks the exact same as Fallout 4.
rivers and these water
16
features
times
that
the
make
detail.
sense. At the end of the day, eventually, they just had to go, fuck it, just make water. It's fine. So in that way, it kind of feels like having a secret little handshake with the developer, but it also feels like having a secret handshake directly with the video game. I can't believe we found the generative source of one of the rivers in Skyrim. That's crazy. Like, they didn't even put one of those little hand-wavy explanation waterfalls out of the side of the mountain here. It just...
You also said Fallout 3 would have hundreds of endings, when it literally had 3. Sacrifice woman, sacrifice yourself, or kill everyone, Lamau. I like the bit where you could talk to the super mutant who can actually go into that chamber, by the way, and he's like, nah, I'm good. Have you played Hades? I have not, but thank you for the 5. Hades 2 came... Oh, no, I played Hades 1 a little bit. Yeah, not too much, though. Hades 2 came out, apparently, which is really good. How much would you need to... How much would you need to be donated to get you to buy and learn how to play Street Fighter 6? It's got to be like $1,000, bro. Like, I'm not doing that for anything less than that. Thank you, Alfie, for the 5. 16 times the bugs.
Starts right in this spot. I'm in awe of the power of video games. Anyway, if you follow this new downstream path, it
Hades 2 as fat women. We won.
eventually ends up into a gigantic lake. And a very cool thing happens. If you stand on this bridge, you'll see this small creek suddenly get huge and gigantic for no explicable reason. Another
Dude, I want to play Skyrim now, and I know it's so mid, but like,
way that the game
goddamn.
just admits that it can't justify everything, and sometimes it just has to make a big river, and that's just the way it goes. All of this water just...
It's crazy, though. When Skyrim came out, I was blown away by the graphics. But now looking at it, it just looks like Oblivion, but with greener colors. Crazy.
This water just comes from that one little spot. Now, that does beg the question, is there any way...
It's not mid, I'm delusional. I mean, you're watching me, you are pretty delusional.
...that this can make...
No, I don't mean mid as in the game's mid. I just mean, like, I wouldn't enjoy it. It's one of those things that you enjoy watching people talk about and stuff, but, like, you're not, you know... Gray Oblivion? Yeah, true.
...sense from a hydrological perspective. Well... It's kind of a tough question to answer. This is a good thing. We don't need there to be an underlying gravity.
I just remember, like, you could get an Argonian follower in Skyrim. I think he's called Dakethus or something. And he was, like, locked in this cave. And the devs forgot to make him... They forgot to remove his quest status off him. So after you beat the quest, he's, like, immortal and he can't be killed.
Model that interacts with a liquid physics engine. It's a piece of three-dimensional art, so the rivers don't have to have sensible beginnings and sensible ends. But they do have to have beginnings and ends. So where's the end of this river? Well, this big giant lake drains in two places. One...
I always play Argonian. Yep. Best race. Best race. Why would you play as a human in a game where you get the option to... I mean, playing as a furry sucks, okay? Like, you know Dragon's Dogma 2 that just came out? Like the Khajiit race in that sucks. The Khajiits in Skyrim, they suck. You play as a human or you play as an Argonian, that's it. Every other choice is actually wrong.
One of them goes off the side.
Para-racist? Yes.
And ends up being its own separate river that goes all the way to the city of Riften. We're not doing that right now. That's a whole other hydrological exploration. But the other path turns into a few waterfalls that eventually reconnect and combine with the original river that we were following. So now we're back on course. Thankfully, things got a little bit...
Oh god, what have I done? There's actually so much infighting in chat right now. Like half the chat, I've realized that half the people here are probably furries.
Simpler from here on out. There weren't any more tributaries.
Like, I'm not a furry, but I play as like the furry character, and I get a feeling down in my pee-pee.
That we had to keep track of or explore. And we even got to see a man who had recently been eaten by a bear. Damn, a bear got in this person's...
I remember that exact cabin. I know where he is. I also remember some of the cabins you could go into in Skyrim and you just find like a bee in a jar that'd fly around. And I remember like I went into my house in Skyrim. I bought the house in Whiterun. It was so expensive. And I set up all my potions, all my crafting ingredients around the alchemy table perfectly. And then as soon as you leave the house and come back in, if two physics items were touching each other, they would just explode and fly off in different directions, just make everything fall apart.
Stealth archer supremacy. Anyone else is wrong.
Yeah, I swear everyone that plays Skyrim ends up doing stealth archer because the gameplay loop is just so boring if you're not. That was one of the problems with it, because the melee combat sucks. Like, it's too easy, and then if you put it up to, like, master difficulty, everyone takes 20 years to kill. So yeah, Stealth Archer was kind of like the, ooh, I'm playing Dishonored, but Dishonored at home. Thank you, Eugene, for the 100. I never played Skyrim, and if I try, I'll quit because of the same reason. It feels mid. You're too old for it. Oh, I hate that you're right, dude. I hate that you're right. Take me back. Take me back. Take me back to when I was playing Viva Pinata on the Xbox 360. A simpler time.
To see a man who had recently been eaten by a bear. Damn, a bear got in this person's home and ate them alive. I just killed the bear. As we get further into the northern latitudes, despite the descending elevation, ice begins to form along the river, things start to get much colder, and we arrive at the city of Windhelm. This city is surrounded by a giant moat, which is largely just the river that we've been following, but it's also joined by another separate river, which means we need to figure out where this river comes from. Now, thankfully, we don't have to go too far, because just a few minutes upstream,
Thank you, Alfie, for joining.
we find this gigantic lake that is surrounded by snowy mountains and has no other contributing tributaries. So we can surmise that the snow from these surrounding mountains melts into this little valley and then flows down towards Windhelm as a river. Now, once you're at Windhelm, you're pretty close to the coast of Skyrim.
Look at the animation of that fox running. The animation is like a nice handshake.
Once you're at Windhelm,
Awful.
you're pretty close to the coast of Skyrim. So all you have to do from this...
Skyrim's worse than mid? Why is Skyrim getting so much hate? You saw for the 5. The Skyrim gameplay loop is spending 3 days modding it just to play it for 5 minutes. Yep. Literally true.
Point is just walk a little ways north, and eventually you get to sort of a river delta type
Someone said Hood Irony Fox.
area, and the strength of the flow of the river gets swallowed up by just the volume
I like how I clicked on this video to understand how water worked in Skyrim, but I've just had like a huge nostalgia trip.
of water outside in the Sea of Dead Souls or whatever. I think it has a name. So this is where the river ends. That humble little creek from Riverwood that created cascading waterfalls and brought us so much joy and adventure, that had so many contributing water partners. It all ends here and just joins the giant singular mass that is the ocean, which is like what happens to us when we die, which is a good thing, probably, hopefully. I guess we'll see. So great, we made it. But we still have...
I always adored Skyrim because I have a huge love of ancient Scandinavian culture. Yeah, I've started to look into like Scandinavian stuff more. It's so interesting, eh? Like better than like UK culture.
no idea
Pyro,
where this
you
river
should play
begins.
Borderlands 2. That was peak childhood games. Or do a playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3. You can fuck a bear, so it might be more your speed.
Dude, I'll be honest, I've never played Borderlands 2. And I feel like I missed out there because apparently Borderlands 2 was peak. I have only played Borderlands 1 and that game is so boring and grindy. No, I played Borderlands 3 as well, and Borderlands 3 was awful. I've never played 2. Apparently that's the best one.
Well, thankfully, that's not a very hard question to answer. We just have to head back to Riverwood. And you know, it turns out that not too far upstream of Riverwood is a gigantic lake. Which begs the question, is this it? Is this the start of all that water? All of that hubbaloo that happens downstream? Is it all just the fault of this lake? Well, that really depends if there are any rivers feeding into this lake, or if it's just its own thing. And the only way to find that out is to walk around the whole thing in a circle. So let's do that really quick. I'll just speed it up for you. I'll save you some time and tell you that no, there is nothing else feeding into this lake. However, the lake does split off into another river, but it is itself the source for that river. Now the question becomes, where does that river go? I think I will leave that one to you. Following these rivers has been one of the most...
Why is he cock blocking? It was like so close.
Reinvigorating experiences I've had with Skyrim in a long time. It has been so fun and so grounding to do something so explorative and arbitrary that I don't really want to ruin the fun by putting it in a YouTube video. So if you want to know where this river goes, boot up your copy of Skyrim, meet me by this sawmill. Oh my god, you're already here. You look exactly like how I imagined all my fans would look. The heart of what I
Just rotting British man.
wanted to get to with this video is this. I love video games. Thanks for watching.
Oh, he edged. He edged us.